All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the March 24th, 2026 Covington City Council meeting. In compliance with state law, City Council special and regular meetings will be held in hybrid format with in-person, telephonic, and virtual options for public viewing and participation. Can you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Soltis?
I am here.
Councilmember Wagner?
Here.
Councilmember Hartsock?
Here.
Councilmember Harjehausen? Councilmember Reed?
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Porter?
Here.
And Mayor Smith?
Here.
We have a quorum, Your Honor.
Thank you. Can we get a motion to excuse Jennifer Harshausen, please?
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and seconded to excuse Jennifer Harshausen. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Do you all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if you would, please stay standing for a second. I'm going to take a moment of privilege. Major Ariana Spino, who was a Covington resident, was recently killed in action supporting military operations in Iran. And I'd just like to take a moment of silence for her. Join, bow your heads for that. So thank you. Thank you. Be seated. Do we have any changes to the agenda, Regan?
No changes, Mayor.
Okay, can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. Up next is reports of commissions. Up first is the Economic Development Council. Josh.
Good evening, Council. A couple of updates for you from CEDIS. Many of them, you've heard me talk about them in the past. This is just an update of where we're going with those. So we started the review process. I mentioned last time that we're going to start looking at public properties within the downtown core and looking for opportunities to apply CEPTED principles. So we started that work. We actually have a meeting this Thursday. So since I last spoke to you, we've had one meeting. So we started that process. We'll continue it. We're pretty excited about that particular project. Karma statues are being fabricated. So we are on our way. Sometimes I like to remind people that karma itself originated from CEDIS. We don't take full credit, but we like to take some for sure. That was part of our branding effort, some time ago now. But the idea was to really create something that we could use to activate activity within the business core that could represent Covington and on the side of being playful, fun, approachable, adaptable. Karma does all those things, I think, pretty well. So we're really excited for this project. We're excited to get the statues, start to get them in place. We're excited to see how people use them, both on the business side, but then how we can activate them and get people involved in seeing them and that type of thing. So we are on our way on that. We have started the process. I mentioned that we really want to get ahead of any kind of vacancy curve that may occur in the downtown core, meaning that we've got a lineup of businesses that we've identified, made relationships with, that we could call upon if unexpected vacancies occur, businesses that might be fun to have in the community that would serve our population well. So we've started that process, and then we've started talking about what are some easy wins. Last time I mentioned, this is a little heavy. The idea that there are some higher end retailers, grocers, for example, that may have passed on Covington, not because of the economics or the numbers that indicate that it would be a good fit, but because there was some sort of image issue. So we're looking for easy wins in maybe some brand that we can do in form of branding and image. I don't know if the right word, but reconciliation or something like that. So we've started that as well. So, and then we have chair elections coming up Thursday. So we'll see how that all goes. Maybe you'll have someone else coming to report to you next time. We'll see.
All right. Any questions? Oh, yeah, Jeff.
Just thank you for your entire team.
Yeah.
And yes, it was Cetus that created Karma.
Right
There
on.
was something else that came first, and you guys went back to the drawing board. So thank you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Cool.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Youth Council. Do we have anyone online? Oh, yeah, we got a hand up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kenneth Mutiga. I'm the Vice Chair of the Youth Council Commission. I'm standing in for Trisha Hu Lee, who's the chair. So during our last meeting, we welcomed a new member, position number 1, term expiring June 30th, 2027. We were supposed to meet with Hirmi Wah, a representative from there, but we had technical difficulties and resolved to postpone it to another date. We had an activity for St. Patrick's Day, and we went over our calendar for the rest of the year and agreed on dates. And yes, that's what we did during our last meeting. We did not have any activities outside our last meeting. And yeah, that's all.
Okay. Thank you, Kenneth. Any questions? No? Okay. Thank you, Kenneth.
Thank you.
Up next, Arts Commission. Seeing one. Okay. Equity, Cultural, and Social Justice Commission. Okay. And we were told there'd be no Human Services Commission report. Okay. Parks and Rec Commission. Oh,
Well,
hello.
we're gonna make up for this by giving you 2 for the planning.
Okay,
That's
great.
okay. So Laura, Connie,
Yep.
and we're gonna talk about our meeting from March. Can you guys hear okay with the microphone? Okay. March was our first non-special meeting in a long time. So we were able to approve like all of our minutes from basically 6 months, just the way that our schedule has been working. Where there were 3 things on our agenda. We had a presentation about the Lake Point Parks and Trails from senior planner Andrew. Andrew, right? Okay. Andrew. And that was really great for the Parks Commission to get some information on what is happening, what is planned to happen, what will happen for Lake Point, partially so that we can educate people who ask, because we're now educated ourselves, and also so that we can kind of help to see how what will happen in Lake Point fits into the total parks vision, parks plan, parks properties, trails, yes, all of that within Covington. So that was really informative, really interesting. Do you want to add anything about that?
No, it's just interesting. I was here when the first version of Lake Point was created. This is a little different looking now, but exciting nonetheless to see a mixture of retail and housing coming into one plan community. So very exciting to see this happening now.
We got the Parks and Rec action plan. So this is the guide to everything that will be happening in the Parks Department in Covington for this year. And I just wanted to pull out a couple things that were exciting to us as commission members. One of the things you guys, I'm sure, know about is the Teen Night program at the Aquatic Center. And so we, as commission, we're very happy to hear about that. Teens and seniors are kind of the weak, I don't want to say weak, that sounds like too negative, but the spot that we haven't quite been able to really program well yet is the key. So we've got that going on. And then one thing that Parks is hoping for this year and was successful with last year is keeping the facility open, the Aquatic Center, for 50 weeks out of the 52-week year. that is always an accomplishment if that happens, because our facility is old, as you've heard me say. So if it's open for 50 weeks, that means really nothing has broken.
And that's barring any technical issues.
Right. So if it's open for 50 weeks, that's fantastic. Senior programming is on they're looking at that this year. And so that is really great if we can get some stuff going up. Back to the aquatic center, one of the things that will happen, hopefully, or get started is the Covington Aquatic Center pool liner and family changing room, things that we got a grant for. This will, though, and in 2027 require an 8-week closure. So that is something that our community will probably need to be prepared for. Also on the radar for this year is the Jenkins Creek Trail and moving that forward. That's super exciting for us as a commission. That's really our first major trail project in Covington in a very long time, and also a project that's outside of a park because, as you know, CCP has plenty of trails, but they're all within the park property. So very exciting for us is the security camera installation. We brought that to you guys when we met with you jointly. And so thank you to Reagan Dunn, who got us those funds to help with that. But we're really excited to see some security cameras installed in our parks facilities. And we're hopeful that that might help. I know it won't eliminate, but deter, yes, some of the problems that we have been having. Also, something that we have talked about a little bit in the commission is the installation of park project signs. So for parks that are incomplete, so Jenkins Creek, for example, CCP, for example, Founders Park, thank you. We have wanted the public, the citizens of Covington, to understand what the vision is for these parks, to understand that these parks are not completed, that there is a master plan for them. And so on the radar for the Parks Department is to install parked project signs, which will kind of show, hey, this is what we'd like to do with this park. And we talked a little bit in our meeting about whether it would be a good idea to put a price tag on that or not. And because I think people need to understand that these things just don't, magically appear out of the ground, but they actually do cost something. And I think we settled on maybe a QR code was a good idea, so that if they wanted the information, they could go look for it, but it wasn't in their face, so too easy to get. Of course, that will kind of all be negotiated as that project is done. Last thing, one of the things that the Parks Department has called out this year is managing on-call contracts. So this is a plumber when the toilet breaks at CCP or little things like that. And just the amount of staff time that those types of on-call contracts are taking to manage as they have kind of multiplied. So that was just interesting information for us to learn as well. So that was the action plan. And then the last thing we talked about is the proposed park property acquisition, which I believe is coming to you guys in executive session later. And I just want to let you know that we discussed it in the commission and we have a unanimous recommendation to purchase. So anything I missed?
No, that was great.
Coming up next month is Earth Day. So we will have all things Earth Day in the Parks Commission. There will be an Earth Day event at Jenkins Creek. And then in May, we'll be looking towards our parks tour. And that's what I got for you tonight.
Thank you. Any questions? Yeah, Riley.
It's okay if you don't know, but do you have any idea when that 8-week closure of the pool would be in 2027?
No.
That's probably information these guys
Yeah.
would know.
I'm not sure anybody knows yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd be aiming for 8 weeks following the high school swim season being over. So I think that's right at the end of February or early March.
As a high school swimmer, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's why you did it.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Up next is our planning commission. I think Dobbin's on the line.
Yes.
All right. Hello.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Go ahead.
Yeah. At our March Planning Commission meeting, the commission received briefings on 2 significant policy initiatives currently underway. The first one was the staff presented proposed amendments to the Covington municipal code addressing religious institutions and food banks based on 2026 gap analysis and prior city council direction from the summit and our meeting together. The commission reviewed council's preferred targeted approach to permit religious facilities outright in all zones which did establish like a clear land use definition for food banks and allowing the food banks in residential zones when affiliated with religious or non-profit organization and outright in downtown zones, removing the conditional use permit requirement while maintaining applicable development standards. Secondly, staff introduced the framework for developing zoning regulations for the battery energy storage systems following the adoption of a citywide moratorium, which was discussed in 2024. The commission reviewed background on the battery storage best technology, state safety requirements governed by the state building and fire codes, followed by the regional planning context and preliminary policy considerations, which include the system size thresholds, permitted zones, and whether large utility scale facilities should be allowed. The Planning Commission provided initial questions and feedback on both of these items to the staff, which will the staff will be going back and making those amendments and drafting that code amendment and future working sessions with some of the public facing social media for the awareness of the public. The staff mentioned they will be creating that forums and then formally recommendations will be provided to City Council. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, thank you. No questions. Thank you, Dom. Have a
Have
good
a
night.
good one. Bye.
Up next is public communication, which we don't have any, so we'll move on to public comment. Speakers will state their name, organization, and whether they are a Covington resident. Comments are directed to City Council, not to the audience or staff. Comments are to be related to city business. Comments are not intended for conversation or debate and are limited to 4 minutes per speaker. For attendees participating by Zoom, click the raised hand button. For attendees participating, thank you, by phone, dial *9 to raise your hand. Once the city grants you permission to speak, press unmute in Zoom or dial *6 to unmute by phone. And let's see, we've got a couple people. First up is Mark Rosenberger. Hello.
Good evening, council members and guests. My name is Mark Rosenberg. I do not live in Covington. I live just outside of Covington in unincorporated King County. I'm representing the Remington Homeowners Association. I've been in my home since before Covington was founded. I moved my family to the Remington subdivision over by Lake Sawyer in the early 1990s for the heavy rural parcels that I found over there. I'm here today to share with you our objective to preserve a large parcel of open green space in unincorporated King County that is at risk. I hope most of you have a passion for the local environment and outdoor recreational spaces. Therefore, my message will resonate with you. Probably most importantly, I'm here to talk to you as residents of King County. Specifically, I'm speaking about the 376 acres of the Drews Glen Golf Course, which I assume most of you are familiar with. My HOA borders a large portion of that. We were commonly developed back in the early 1990s under very strict King County environmental compliance rules. In fact, King County thought it was so unique that they granted Druids Glen special taxation rights because of the open green space that they created. As it was back in the early 1990s, and probably more importantly, than ever, this unique parcel is way more than just a public golf course. Today, as it was decades ago, there's an abundance of native wildlife such as deer and elk, an occasional cougar and bobcat that roam the wooded sections. A variety of waterfowls are on all the ponds. Eagles are in abundance. In the evenings, there's lots of owls that are out there. Covington Creek runs through the golf course, which is a salmon tributary, and empties into the Green River in the Auburn area. And missed all of that wood forest up there on a nice clear day. If you've been up in there summer, you can see Mount Rainier along with everybody else that's at the restaurant having a drink or a meal. So if you've been there, close your eyes, you can imagine all that. Now blink and open them and imagine it all gone. If you've ever been up there, I'd be glad to show you. I know the local staff up there pretty well. Within the last year, the new owners of Druids Glen Park Legacy that reside in Phoenix, Arizona, have begun a King County land development process application to build a gated community of elite homes up there and eliminate the golf course. This is a radical departure from the Paul Allen family that was initially involved in respecting the environment. With the new owners residing over 1,400 miles away from King County, I don't think their concern about our environment here is at the top of their mind. If a major housing development is approved without very strict environmental compliance, it's going to be a disaster. The loss of that outdoor recreational space will certainly eliminate the forest. It'll drive all the native wildlife away, possibly contaminate the salmon stream that is up there. In addition, that whole region is 100% on septic systems, which introduces another risk to the wetlands as well as groundwater. In addition to all that, the rural roads around that part of King County are completely saturated already. That just irritates local residents, makes school bus transportation much longer. Truck drivers get furious with their deliveries and delays first responders. As King County continues to evaluate this application, we're calling upon all agencies within King County to fully assess the impact it's going to have to the area. Our HOA and the surrounding HOAs that have joined us don't have deep pockets or budgets to acquire lobbyists to work with King County. What we do have are our voices and our votes, and that's why I'm here speaking with you today. We have been in conversation with Councilman Reagan Dunn, who's the district member for King County Council often. I'd like to ask you for your support to share this information with the residents of Covington so we can gain their support. Thank you for letting me speak tonight.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Up next, Arnold Hong.
Hi, thank you. My name is Arnold Hong. I'm here on behalf of the Timber Lane HOA. I noticed one of the consent agenda items for tonight was regarding the local road safety plan that's being proposed for being moved ahead. So just want to express my appreciation to the city staff and the city council for the willingness to have conversations about how to get creative regarding the sidewalk needs in the neighborhood. So that's all I have to say for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Is there anybody else in the chamber that wishes to address the council? Anybody online? Okay, I don't see any hands. So we will have a second public comment period at the end of the agenda. So we're now up to approval of the consent agenda. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. We are up.
Sean?
Yeah, sorry.
I
Jeff.
don't mean to interrupt. I
Yeah.
just wanted to say that
Good.
on this consent agenda, item C7, referring to the road safety
Mhm.
plan with what our public speakers said, this is a creative way to help with the sidewalks that we've been trying to get fixed in Timber Lane. I just
Yeah.
wanted to put that out. So thank you to
Yeah.
staff.
Thank you for that, Jeff. Up next is new business item number 1. Consider resolution revising the Equity, Cultural and Social Justice Commission membership and term of office rules. Regan.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So as you know, at our annual summit, the council looked at the Equity Cultural Social Justice Commission. And in an effort to bring uniformity to the size of our commissions and to help secure a quorum on this particular commission, council decided to, or asked staff to bring back a resolution that would reduce the size of the commission from 15 seats to 7 seats. So that's what's before you tonight. Seats 18 through 15 are currently unfilled. So if council adopts this tonight, then we will have a full Equity, Cultural, and Social Justice Commission. Happy to answer any questions if you have them.
Questions? Did we poll the current council members or commission members? What's their, do we have a feel for what their take is? No, there's no objection. No, we're not hearing
No,
anything
no,
from that.
no.
Okay.
I think they're actually excited to be able to
Okay.
meet.
Yeah.
Right.
Because they haven't been
Okay.
able to meet in a long time,
Yeah.
so.
Okay. So moved. Yeah. Okay.
Second.
All right. It's been moved and seconded. Sorry. To adopt a resolution revising the Equity, Cultural, and Social Justice Commission membership and term of office rules. Jeff, do you wish to speak to your motion?
Yes, we created this commission, started discussing it back in 2020, and we created it. And when we had the young lady from Renton come out and speak to us to discuss it, there will be ebbs and flows as it grows and decreases, and as they try and figure out where they can get their movement going, or their being able to get their commission settled. And I believe that by taking this down to 7 members, it will give a quorum, because there has been a problem of keeping a quorum where they can't meet and bring back decisions. So I think this is a very good decision to do.
Beth, you speak to your second.
Yes, and I know that when it got started, the idea is that we could have as many people to have as many voices at the table. Problem is, if they're not showing up to the table, then it kind of ties everybody's hands. And so we can always look at it in the future if it starts to ramp back up, if the interest starts to build back up again.
Any other comments or questions? Okay. It's been moved and seconded to adopt a resolution revising the Equity, Cultural, and Social Justice Commission membership and term of office rules. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. New business item number 2, consider resolution authorizing the city manager to execute an amendment to the agreement creating the Covington Economic Development Council. Regan.
Thank you, Mayor. Again, like the Equity, Cultural, and Social Justice Commission you just discussed, it was also decided that we would reduce the size of our Covington Economic Development Council from 10 seats to 6 seats. The reason that's 6 and not 7 like the rest of our commissions is because half of those members are appointed by the chamber and half by the city council. So that gives 3 from each, whereas currently it's 5 appointed from each. So right now there's 1 vacancy from each jurisdiction, the chamber and the city. So those 2 seats would be eliminated. And then the next 2 seats that are up for their term ending, there's 1 from the chamber side, 1 from the city side. Those seats would be eliminated at the end of their term. So that would get it to the 6 that's being proposed to you tonight.
Okay. Questions for Regan? No? Oh, sorry, Debbie.
So just to clarify, those two positions that are going to term out are this summer, right? July 31st? Okay, thank you.
Any other question? Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I guess I'm looking at 3 positions on the city council that are gonna, from the city that are gonna term out in August. So if we eliminate them plus the
Only 1's being eliminated.
only 1, okay.
Yep.
And then, did anyone look, would it help to do 5 and 5 instead of 6 and 6? To still reduce the number and still get quorum?
Sorry.
I'm sorry, 4
I-
and 4, 4 and 4, 4 and 4.
Would
8.
it help do what?
Still allow us to have have a quorum and help. I know there are potential some attendance issues and such there by eliminating some of those, but also still providing an opportunity for residents and our business community to get involved with the chamber?
It could. I'm sure we can make it work with whatever the size is. There's always going to be some issues with commissions, right? But I'd say if that's something council wants to do, we shouldn't make that decision tonight. We need to go back to the chamber and see this to discuss that. That's true.
Yeah, Christina.
And to segue, have we talked to CEDIS and is this what CEDIS wants?
Yes, this was proposed by CEDIS and then we met with the chamber and the chamber said they were good with it as well.
Great. All right, wonderful. Thank you.
Any other questions? Yeah, Debbie.
No, I was just
Oh,
gonna make
go
a
ahead.
motion.
Make a motion. Go ahead. So move.
So moved.
Okay. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay.
Sorry.
And that was you, Beth? Did you second?
I did.
Debbie? Yeah, okay. So it's been moved and seconded to adopt a resolution to authorize the city manager to execute an amendment to the Covington Economic Development Partnership Committee Agreement in substantial form as attached. Debbie, you speak to your motion.
Thank you. Well, as we discussed in January, reducing the size, but keeping it equal, which we have to do, will help this committee have quorum when needed, and will still give us what we need out of that committee. So,
Great. Beth, speak to your second.
It's already been said.
Okay.
Thank you.
Anybody else speak for or against? Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adopt a resolution to authorize the city manager to execute an amendment to the Covington Economic Development Partnership Committee Agreement in substantial form as attached. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. That's the end of our new business. Now up to future agenda items. There anything council would like to add to a future agenda item? I see we have a joint study session with Human Services on the 14th, and then after that we have a city council meeting and a public hearing. Anything else? Okay. Now up to council staff comments, and I guess we'll start with Adam.
I have no comments, so thank you.
Ethan.
Yes, no comments from me tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Dawn.
I'll just speak a little bit, since Arnold spoke a little bit about the local road safety plan, I'll just say that, so what this will allow us to do, as it said in the packet, is to give us an opportunity to be competitive with grant funds for Safe Routes to School, some other funding that we've had success with through our local road safety plan. So fingers crossed. I think it's later on this year before we get like kind of even the first indication of locations that they're considering or whatever based on things submitted. So we met all the deadlines for turning that in. So and then any other ones that fall under that will continue to submit based on those projects that we had in the local road safety plan. So just wanted to give that update. Happy to answer any questions. Also, I can talk with you also afterwards. I don't know if you want. So thank you.
Thank you. Go to Casey.
Nothing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Selena.
I just want to share appreciation with the council for tonight's discussion around the traffic impact fee. It was really great. Good feedback, and thank you for the direction to staff. Otherwise, I have nothing else.
Okay. Mark.
Thank you. One quick report, council. I sent you an email earlier today regarding the use of public facilities to promote or oppose ballot measures. And so just keep that on your mind as we're moving forward with the MPD discussion. And if you have any questions, I would encourage you to reach out early and often to staff, to myself, to Regan, and make sure we can work through everything and any questions or concerns you may have. Other than that, we do have an executive session tonight for potential real estate acquisition. That's under RCW 4230 110 sub 1 sub little b. And that's all I have for you tonight. Thank you.
Regan.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to point out one thing staff did last week after our conversation at the summit about potentially providing additional senior programming. There was a health fair held at Vineyard Park for seniors last week. And we had our staff there to share different programs, different services that are provided, and different events. We also did a paper survey with them to gather their input on things they would be interested in. So starting that process to help figure out what we can best do in the community for seniors throughout the year. Thank you.
Thank you. Krista.
I don't have anything tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Christina.
Thank you. First off, thank you to staff for an amazing meeting. Always good information and great work. I do have an update from Skip. From the 2023 and 24 funding rounds, TWG Development was awarded 1.94 million to fund the construction of Pandian at Star Lake in Kent. That was one of the biggest awards we have given to any one development company. In August, the executive, so they were waiting to pool funds from Amazon to see if they were awarded those funds. And in August, the executive board agreed to wait until the outcome of Amazon award was known. Unfortunately, in November of 25, we found out the award is not going to be given to them from Amazon. And therefore, Skip had to pull that fund, all those funds. Perhaps this is a negative thing, but on the bright side, we now have 1.94 extra to award in the 2026 cycle, which we've already heard of expressed interest from local developers. And I just wanted to bring that forward because Skip does contribute, Covington does contribute to Skip pretty significantly for us. And also, Claire is no longer with Skip as the executive director. And we are shuffling things around, making it work. But we did have a wonderful meeting last Friday. I will keep you posted if anything changes, but if you have any questions, feel free to ask.
Thank you. Riley.
Thank you. I have a few updates. After our meeting 2 weeks ago, I was able to come and check out the emergency preparedness system that we have set up. As a new council member, I thought it was important to see what that would look like and how our role would look like in those situations. Very informative. I feel confident in the system we have in place and more prepared as a council member because I attended. Outside of that, I don't have any major comments other than I'm glad to hear that we're exploring different ways to serve our senior and youth community. Just super encouraged by that first pool night and still just want to do everything I can as a council member to support those activities. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm not done.
Go ahead.
I just wanted to express my deepest gratitude, both to our staff, to Debbie for what you did and coordinated and orchestrated last night. Thank you, Sean, for speaking. It's sad just to begin with, but then when you hear just how amazing Ariana was, my goodness.
Yeah.
Just makes it that much sadder that our community lost such an incredible human. But deepest gratitude for everyone who contributed that and to our church too. Thank you.
Thank you. Beth.
Right, so the day after we had our last city council meeting, we had a PIC meeting. It was held virtually, and there were several agenda items for discussion. We only got to one of them because the Transportation Benefit District sales tax increase for the county roads issue took over 2 hours for us to come to any kind of consensus. It was really kind of a crazy meeting on Robert's Rules of Order. I mean, we had everything thrown at us. So, but in the end, the PIC committee came to a consensus of showing support for King County Council to raise the sales tax to 0.01% to help pay for county road improvement, simply because if you don't play the game, you might not, you need to be at the table to help get anything done. And asked for a 25% pass through back to cities, since a lot of us rely on that funding to help our own roads. And so that was an ask. And I think they're still trying to decide whether they want to raise that councilmatically. So more News at 11 and SCA has been doing a great job tracking that. And I'm sure Robert will send out updates as that progresses through that committee. Also, I had fun last Thursday at the chamber, joint chamber happy hour at Nikki's. So it was great to see people from the chamber, from the city. Rotary helped co-sponsor it. Building that community at a local venue was fantastic. I'm guessing there was probably 30 or more people there. It was, we kind of took over. So it was kind of fun. And looking forward to the chamber Business Awards event tomorrow night at Weatherly. And yes, thank you, Debbie, and to one of our commissioners for coordinating that, and for Heartwood Church for hosting the candlelight vigil for the airmen that lost their lives. And I think that's probably it.
Thank you. Debbie.
Thank you. Well, just to add on to the other comments that have been made about the vigil last night, I am so grateful to Nikki's Restaurant, who stepped up right away and asked what they could do if something were going to be done. They did an amazing job. And Heartwood Church also opened up their doors and their arms and said, hey, come use our space if you'd like. And it turned out to be just perfect amount of space. It was not too small. Great turnout from the community. And I'll go back to what I spoke about last night, is that we have an amazing, caring community. And people just came out, had no idea really who she was, but felt that they owed it to someone that gave their life for our country to be there for them. Ariana's parents heard through the grapevine how the service went, or the vigil, and they were very touched and called and again said thank you. And I think they're probably very proud of our community as well. And thank you, Mayor Smith, for saying a few words about that we would be having the moment of silence tonight, and then there will be a proclamation and we hope that the family will be available to be here for. A couple of months ago, Regan had gotten an email from King County Metro letting us know that Route 162, the Lake Meridian route to Seattle, was going to be taken away, but that in light of that, they would increase the stops or increase the frequency with Route 168. So I wrote an email back to King County Metro and I said, understand, why you're needing to do this. And I didn't think that they could get me this detail of data, but I asked, could you by any chance give us any numbers on how many people from Covington use that route? Because we would like to be prepared on what that impact is going to be. So it took them a while. I just got a note back, and while they weren't able to get to that detail of data, what they did tell me was that they are averaging 6 riders a day. So with that being what it is, it's not likely that maybe 3 riders a day are from Covington. And the opportunity is still, while they can't park and ride from Lake Meridian, they can still go down to Kent Station and take light rail is available now from any not even just Kent Station, but any number of places. And there are better alternatives. So however, that had to be approved, that change had to be approved by King County, and it was on their agenda for today, so I don't know what the outcome is. I'm expecting that it was kind of like a consent agenda, the way it was tabled. There were several changes to routes that King County was proposing, and then it was all in one lump sum. So I can update on that next week. At Skateboard, last week, we got a rollout preview of PSRC's new performance dashboard. And if you go to the PSRC website and you go to focus on 2050, you can kind of see where you go down and pivot to a lot of different safety information, but kind of the keynotes that came out of that were that excuse me, a different page. First of all, in terms of work from home, the average in the state is about 20% of residents work from home. Covington is at 20%. But deaths on roadways are climbing, and the highest groups in the death categories are in the 18 to 29-year-old age group. They're males, and the accidents are occurring after 6 p.m. So not anything that we can really do with that, but it's just good for us to know that that's what's happening. Now, of course, that is countywide. It's not just Covington. I tried to pivot down to see if I could get that type of data for Covington, and I haven't gotten that far yet. But I thought that was good. If you have time and want to go in and look at that dashboard, it does give a lot of information about a number of things related to climate, traffic, collisions, and the like. So that is really all I had. Thank you.
Thank you. Jeff?
On Friday the 13th, when we had our snowstorm that morning, communities and schools of South Puget Sound, which is Federal Way, Kent School District, held their annual breakfast. And even with all the weather, Kent Meridian Gymnasium was half full. They expected it to be full, but we heard some great stories from the students. And I know that I haven't seen the final numbers of the donations that were achieved for that group, but it was very good. Very good to hear from both Federal Way and Kent School Districts. And then the Storehouse is having their food drive on April 4th, and their open house will be on April 11th.
Thank you, Jeff. Just a couple things for me. The Puget Sound Regional Fire Authority held its last meeting on March 18th. A couple things they went over with. They're doing a audit of all their vehicles. So as you can imagine, a fire department has quite a few not only engines, but just staff cars. And so they're looking at like a lot of entities, how they can cut some of their costs and retire some of their older vehicles. So they're spending a good amount of time looking at the amount of use they have for each one of their vehicles and how they actually can make them more efficient too. So I think one of the last times I talked here, they mentioned they're moving up their purchase of 4 electric trucks. So looking to reduce their gas costs as well, but also reduce their amount of number of vehicles they have. I see on upcoming meeting, we've got a discussion of the BESS system. The fire marshal actually attended Maple Valley's last planning commission meeting to talk to them about battery energy storage. Might be interesting to see and collect, and I can possibly see what I can find, what they talked about, and what the fire marshal actually said about that issue. On May 2nd, at Station 74, the RFA will be holding its annual teddy bear clinic. If you haven't attended one of these, they actually provide teddy bears to the first 400 kids that attend, and they go through a little checkup and get, and you can bring your own stuffed animal as well, but they provide a little checkup on those animals, provide information on fire safety, that sort of thing. So it's a great event for the fire department, but also for the community. Yeah. It's on May 2nd. It'll be like from 10 to 2, I believe, but I'll find out the exact time on that at Station 74. And then for unfinished business, we talked about that Fire Protection District 43 and the City of Black Diamond have both formally requested to be annexed into the RFA. So there'll be a significant amount of negotiations and discussions, but the end result will be it'll have to go to a public vote. And so that will be coming up. If it is adopted, then those two entities will now have voting authority on the RFA, and we'll have to figure out how we're going to incorporate those new entities into the Regional Fire Authority. So stay tuned. And then finally, I attended the kickoff of the Citizens Police Academy last week. Roughly 35, 40 attendees. It's about a 12-week course. For those that don't know, it's free for communities in the, what is it, precinct, what's the precinct? 3?
So we're precinct 3 or the southeast precinct.
Yeah, and 12-week course. It's basically a 101 on policing, but also kind of how citizens can provide input and get involved in their community safety. If you haven't done it, I encourage you to look into that in the future. It's really fun. There's a lot of really cool stuff. They bring out the canine unit. They've flown the helicopter out to Lake Wilderness. We go out to the firing range, get to shoot a couple of different firearms, and then you get to go to the race course and they drive vehicles quickly around there and do pit maneuvers. So it's kind of fun. So anyway, that's all I have. So we're now up to the second public comment period. Speakers will state their name, organization, and whether they are a Covington resident. Comments are directed to City Council, not the audience or staff. Comments are to be related to city business. Comments are not intended for conversation or debate and are limited to 4 minutes per speaker. For attendees participating by Zoom, click the raised hand button. For attendees participating by phone, dial *9 to raise your hand. Once the city grants you permission to speak, press unmute in Zoom or dial *6 to unmute your phone. Anybody in the council chamber? Yeah, Laura.
Laura Morrissey, and I just wanted to pop up real quick and mention the teddy bear clinic that you were talking about. As you're speaking of that, I thought that would be a really great activity for the homeschool community to be aware of. And Covington actually has a really substantial homeschooling community. So if you have information, you can pass it on to me and I will get it to the right people. Or if you know, other people in the community, feel free to go through those channels. And just also in general, if you guys ever in your other activities or other committee work come across something and you think, you know what, this would be great for young people. Don't forget about the homeschooling community. Covington actually has a very, very large population of homeschoolers, and sometimes they get a little isolated because they're not plugged into traditional channels. So that's all.
Thank you. Anyone else in the council or in the chambers? Anyone online? Okay, seeing no one, close the second public comment period. We do have an executive session. Regan, how long are we looking?
Then what do you think? 15 minutes?
Okay, so we will, I guess, was that pause for 15 minutes? And then we'll be back at, what is that, 8:10. So, and then we'll have no further business. So, okay. Yeah. Okay, we're back from executive session. We have no further business. So this meeting is adjourned at 8:10.